What's up, guys? Welcome back to Quarantine Binger. This is the second episode. I'm going to split this into two with the movies that I watched in the theater since the theaters opened up back here in Atlanta for this episode, and the other movies that kind of relate to this, and like the other ones that I watched outside of theaters in the next one. Let's talk about these major releases that came out in the month of August 2020. So, first one up, Hamilton. I've never been a fan of big theater or like plays. Like, I've never really liked plays, even though I love film and acting. Everyone has been talking about this play since its debut, so I finally decided to watch it. And I thought Hamilton was pretty brilliant on many levels. It's very innovative. I also didn't know like about all the drama that surrounded Alexander Hamilton, so I thought that was very interesting, especially with his use of hip hop music and modern music. His set design, that rotating floor, his choreography, and the cinematography, even though it's not supposed to be recorded. I mean, like, all those things really help create a highly entertaining and amusing work of art. The cast is exceptionally talented and gives top-notch performances, especially Daveed Diggs. Like, that guy stole the show. He played two characters, Lafitte and I think Thomas Jefferson. Whew, that man is talented. And like, it's 3 hours long, but it kept me entertained for the majority of it. I thought I'd probably get bored, but Lin-Manuel Miranda pulled off a stunning achievement in writing and crafting the music and display. Like, I've been to New York 3 times since this play debuted, and I'm ashamed that I didn't see it. So that goes to show you that Hamilton is amazing if I liked it. 10 out of 10, or 5 stars since it's Broadway. I saw Tenet too, also, but you wouldn't know that. Like, this is what Tenet is. I'm gonna walk away from the mic. I saw Tenet the other day. And while, yes, this is a September release, it's so major that you can't wait the whole month. And I didn't really write down my thoughts, so I'm just gonna spit off my mind of what I thought of Tenet, as honest as I can be. So, Tenet is the latest release from cinematic visionary Christopher Nolan. And honestly, I thought it was kind of like a mixed bag, because for most of the movie, you don't even really understand what's going on, which I expected, but not for the reasons that I thought. You're confused because you can't even really hear what they're saying for most of the movie. Like, the score is so loud, and I saw this in IMAX because they was like, go see it in IMAX. But that was probably a bad decision, because those speakers were so loud, I had an anxiety attack because the music's loud, the sound effects are loud, the dialogue is at a minimum. Oh man, like, I couldn't hear anything the characters were saying. It's a very mixed bag, and it kind of felt clumsy. Well, I wouldn't even say clumsy. It felt kind of like a mixed bag, honestly. Like, I think that's like the best way to describe it. I mean, like, the acting is phenomenal, especially from Elizabeth Debicki. That's like the only character you get emotionally invested in. And Robert Pattinson is also really good. I mean, I think his name is David Washington. He's the main character, and I'm already messing up his name. Everybody's acting is phenomenal, but you don't hear the dialogue. And honestly, you don't really need to see this in IMAX. Like, it's so loud that you don't really understand. I felt like the premise was a good one, but it's a little challenging to like the average viewer, which is expected of Christopher Nolan. But I don't know, I didn't really feel that attached to this movie. Mostly because I couldn't hear what they were saying. Like, I think that really took me out, was not being able to understand the dialogue, so I couldn't get connected or emotionally invested in this movie. And that's my problem with it. Like, I'll probably see it again with subtitles, but as of right now, I mean, like, Tenet, it's okay. I'll give it like an 8, maybe, because I know it's a good movie. Like, it has a good premise. Like, there was a movie there about time travel, and there's a villain, and it kind of makes sense when you think about it, but you don't really understand the movie. And with that being said, I think my acting career is over, because Christopher Nolan probably will never let me be in his movie.
Excellent! Let's rock!
Bill and Ted Face the Music. What music? I don't know. It's a analogy for them getting old. Yeah. This was the hardest movie to find at the theaters because they weren't showing it at traditional theaters. Well, they were. They weren't showing it at AMC. Is what I mean. And I have the AMC stuff, so I went and saw it at the drive-in here. And this is a really fun movie. Like compared to the other two, I don't think it's as good as the other two. Personally, I feel like it's a good movie though. It didn't really feel like a Bill and Ted movie. Well, it did, but it didn't. It felt like Bill and Ted in another universe. With movies being all like serious and dark, it's good to have like just a feel-good movie and telling people to be excellent to each other. It felt a little bit short. I don't know. I feel like it's still pretty funny. Like I laughed a lot watching this movie, and they were able to keep that 80s feel going in modern day. And I feel like their daughters did a fantastic job, especially like the one who played Billy, who was Ted's daughter. Like she had Ted's movements down to a T. And like his speech, it was very, very funny. I'm glad they brought Def back because Def is probably my favorite character in Bill and Ted. That guy is hilarious. Like the actor who plays him is probably top tier entertainment. That guy is fantastic. And I hope they have like a little box set with all three. But otherwise, like it's a good movie. Like both Bill and Ted and their daughters go on a quest, so it makes it a little bit interesting. And they have like the musicians come back, historical musicians, and they also have Kid Cudi in this movie, who I felt kind of was like, I thought he's gonna be more, but he really wasn't. I don't know. It was like, well, why didn't they bring Kid Cudi along? But it's a pretty good movie. They'll make all like the old fans a little bit happy. It kept me entertained. It gave me a little warm feeling of happiness about global connection. It feels like the perfect movie that we need right now. A little happiness, nothing too serious, just like something to have fun with, you know, something just to enjoy in this weird pandemic. So I'm gonna give it an 8. New Mutants, or The New Mutants, is 3 years old. It just got released finally. I didn't think I'd ever see this movie, to be honest. It's not the worst X-Men movie, but it's most certainly not the best for a long shot. I was expecting a horror movie with superhero elements, but I got a superhero movie with horror elements. Like they had it thinking, like had me thinking it was gonna be like mostly horror, but I already knew this movie was gonna suck from the trailer, and honestly, like it sucks. It's not great, but like it's not horrible. Like I sat through it. It does get a little bit boring and tedious at points, and feels like there's not a lot of character development, and they don't really commit to what they were trying to do with this movie. So it doesn't have like a solid sense of direction on where it's going, and it just feels like they kind of threw these things together. They have the basic character stereotypes, like well, he's not even a jock, he's just a butthole. And then like the mean girl, the nice girl, and then the new girl, and then like the nice guy. And I mean, like there are no plot twists like you expect what's gonna happen. And I feel like they have like some progressive things, but there are a lot of things where it's like pretty offensive. Like the main character is supposed to be Native American, but there are a lot of like horrible Native American jokes in there, like Stand There Rock or Pocahontas. Like that's not funny and that's not cool. And at the end, you're just like, well, I watched it. Like it's a movie to say you finally watched, just to say like, oh, this movie actually came out. But honestly, it's pretty mediocre. So 5 out of 10. So, American Pickle and American Pickle, let me say the whole title, is a movie about a guy. Well, he's like, I don't remember where he's from. He's a Jewish immigrant who moves to America and is brined in a pickle salty thingy, like the little containers that they brine the pickles in, for 100 years. and he's like trying to form this relationship with his great grandson, but it turns to like a family feud or a rivalry, if you will. And it's hilarious. Like, I thought it was gonna be like a serious movie. No, this is a comedy, and they did an exceptionally well job at it. Seth Rogen plays both characters, and his acting is on point. Like, I never felt like, oh, this is a horrible movie. Like, he delivered. Like, I was hoping for a serious role, but he delivered on both parts of his character. It's just Seth Rogen mostly playing both characters, and he does a good job. I kind of like films like this because I'm soft. I'm sorry, I'm a little soft. So it's kind of like a sweet sadness and that family dynamic that you were hoping for. Even though it's like, I don't think they're ever gonna rekindle, but they, it's a happy ending at the end. They come together. It's a astounding work of art. Like, I feel like it might be a modern masterpiece, and it's kind of weird to think that Seth Rogen played both characters, like both scenes together. Like, he really did that. The director and the crew, everybody who worked on here, did a fantastic job. So shout out to them. I loved it. Like, honestly, it's a nice little cute quirky movie. That's all I can really say. Like, I think it's a modern masterpiece, 9 out of 10. And with that being said, that is all of the movies that I saw that had like a major release in theaters or like a debut on a streaming service. And let me know what you guys think. Like, I tried to do all of them. Like, let me know if you want me to just do like one movie, or you enjoy this, or you get all of the movies from the past month. Trying to figure out what to do with the channel. Still learning, still growing, and trying to adapt to change with this new world and how I'm doing these videos. Like, I like recording it this way because I can just go back and edit, but I'm looking at new ways of doing this. But if you enjoyed this video and you want to see more, you can give it a like or leave a comment down below. If you want, you can subscribe. You don't have to, but it's appreciated if you do. And just let me know what you guys think. What do you want to see next, if anybody even watches these videos? But my name is Mark. That's my reviews for the major movies of August 2020. Stay tuned for the other ones that I saw, and there are a lot of them. And like my reviews of Bill and Ted, the first two, since I never saw those movies, even though I'm like a huge fan from Horror Nights. Anyway, that's gonna do it for this one. I will see you guys in the next video.